Earlier this year, there was an effort in the state legislature to eliminate some of the incentives New Mexico gives to filmmakers to come here and spend money making movies. Opponents of the project said it costs too much for the benefits the state gets. But the governor's office commissioned a study that said the opposite, and the move to water down the incentives package went away, at least for a while. Now there's an even greater effort being made to get the makers of movies to consider doing them in New Mexico. Dan Garrity is back with this report.
Governor Bill Richardson, along with representatives from the state's film office, will meet with Hollywood film and TV producers tomorrow in Los Angeles. It's part of the governor's bold moves to bolster New Mexico's place as an entertainment production center. Paul Shipley is head of publicity and media relations for the film office. He tells KSFR about the meeting and its objectives.
The group is a group of approximately 30 television executives, including representatives from the big studios as well as independent television producers. And the intent is for the governor to talk about what's happening in New Mexico, describe our incentives program, and talk about all of the growing industry that we have here in the state, and to work with the producers and the studios to entice them to bring productions to the state.
New Mexico's success in procuring entertainment industry jobs has not gone unnoticed by other states. It's fostered numerous other rebate and incentive packages across the U.S. While Shipley notes that some of those offer more remunerative deals for producers, our state's program strikes a good balance between incentive and fiscal responsibility.
There's a lot of competition out there now. When we started the incentives program, there were 3 states that were doing it. It was Oklahoma, Louisiana, and New Mexico. Since then, states have tried to replicate the success that we've had here in New Mexico by implementing similar incentives programs, in some case upping the ante quite a bit. Now there's more than 40 states that have some kind of incentives program or rebate program or other tax break situation for film and television production. And they can range anywhere from 10 to 15% to 40 to 50%, depending on the place where you are. And of course, New Mexico is at 25%, and ours is a very reasonable incentive and responsible incentive. And it not only gives the rebate to the film companies, but it also insists that the money that's being rebated is for expenses that are made here in New Mexico, for New Mexico crew, New Mexico products, New Mexico companies. So that's also unique to the New Mexico program.
Shipley says the film office does not aggressively recruit production. He says New Mexico now begins to sell itself based on past accomplishments and diversity of locales.
New Mexico stands out because of the reliability of the crews, the versatility of our locations in New Mexico. I mean, we can basically give a movie or a television production almost any look they want, with the exception of something like downtown Manhattan or something like that, where you're looking for a big skyline. So New Mexico is very versatile and very complete when it comes to shooting. And then when you add to the fact that they've got crews, we have crews here that are so well trained and dependable. I'll give you an example. I was on a movie set with the governor a couple of months ago, and we were talking with the producer, and the producers made a big point of mentioning that the crew is 85% New Mexicans, and it was the best crew he'd ever had. And this was a major Hollywood producer. And that's quite a compliment. And so when these people are looking for locations, they'll look at us first a lot of times because of the experiences that they've had and other people have had in the States. So New Mexico stands out for a number of reasons, and I don't expect that to change. While there are a lot of states that offer incentives, New Mexico is still towards the top of the list because of all those factors that I mentioned.
Earlier this year, some legislators attempted to revisit the state's incentive programs, citing statistics that made the effort seem financially unrewarding. That was countered by an analysis that showed entertainment ventures making substantial returns to local economies and invigorating the job market. Is the issue likely to be revisited each legislative session?
I certainly hope not. I hope that we'll be able to, in the meantime, in the interim, be able to answer the concerns and the questions that a few legislators have, because frankly the support for the program is overwhelming, both among the public and in general among the legislators. I think generally the legislature is supportive and they're rightly concerned with the state's finances, but I think that when you really look at it and you see the kind of benefit that this film program brings to the state, that it's not something they they would realistically want to tamper with.
For KSFR News, this is Dan Garrity.